This is the most that I travel with: the laptop, my phone, and the reader. So
you
like,
catch me with a small Best Buy at any given day.
Nope. See, look, this is like all I carry it in. Boom. That's poor.
I don't know. I have a lot of time at work, so.
And you have a mini, and so then I'm like thinking you're gonna have something that's half that size. So I'm like, dang, you'll have so much room.
It's squares. Literally.
And somehow you have more stuff to bring.
Probably, yeah.
Apple. That's why. Apple.
It's working.
All right, so I don't know. All right, I think that's fine. You're in it.
Do I need to speak to?
I need to scoot this way more.
Okay. I'm not a videographer. I'm barely a podcaster. Although, won an award. And 2 radio
Good for
stations.
you.
Hey.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the radio.
Thank you. Yes, listen this Sunday at 4:20 because you'll recognize some of the songs.
Hey.
Yes, I've been listening to your music all day.
It's your hit, actually. Oh, no, you're good. I've just been camping on this for a hot minute.
You're good.
I've done packs and came home from this camping trip.
I got
Cars
some
unloaded.
stuff.
We got to work tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Well, I smoked a 2-gram blunt on my way over here, and then
Nice.
oh yeah, and I smoked another blunt. Oh, and a pre-roll.
Veteran stoners.
Yes.
I love that.
That's why I have my own papers.
I am amongst brethren.
I will say that those papers are so hard for me to roll because my fingers are fat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I can do the blunt papers because those are bigger, but those papers I'm like, I gotta get better at it. I gotta be more like delicate.
It's good to know both.
You do
for
have
sure.
to be kind of delicate. That's
It's
why.
a lot more
Those are rice
delicate,
papers.
especially if you're used to rolling blunts.
I'm so glad you gave me so many. Yes.
That too, because like she's seen the evolution. Because like when I first started rolling joints, like switched from blunts to joints, like they were like pregnant in the middle, they were like super skinny, or
yes.
or either just didn't smoke or it worked.
Yeah.
So like, now I'm just like.
Now I basically roll a cone and then I just kind of stuff it, whatever like kind of falls out or something like that.
No,
that is
Do you
like.
find filters?
No.
Oh, I got filters.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Oh, fuck yes. Yeah, I have them in my car.
Heck yeah. This is great.
My other
She's
job.
bougie now. She doesn't do the joints.
So
without
do you
filters.
sync the audio with the video?
So no, this is like YouTube. So we're just going off of YouTube. This is my backup in case one of my shit fails.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay,
so I have a
okay.
backup. I use the audio off my phone because it's so much easier. And then this is just a backup in case my phone like dies or something.
Okay, I was gonna say if you wanted to, you could take the video from there and then sync it up with the audio coming from here.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so the way you can do that is you just go like this, you just go, and then what you'll do is you'll find the sound wave when you're editing it, and then you
Oh,
can sync it up that way. I can talk to you more about that.
yes,
I
I
want
will.
to help you with your stuff.
That would be awesome because I need help.
I got you.
Okay,
I got you.
I'll be back. I'm gonna go grab those papers.
Thank you.
All right, and if you talk shit, I'm recording. So.
We're live. You can literally watch us. She's just monitoring us. She's like, what are you fuck saying right now? I have somebody's lighter. She gave me one. I want to pocket somebody else's. I think it's hers.
It's
It's
not.
very considerate of you.
I try to be cautious about
This
it.
one isn't none. I don't think. I don't know.
No, that one is from here.
Okay. I was gonna say I was like,
It's just a little
it's an
guy.
accident if it happens.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is fun. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like a stick or a pillar candle still, but
Yeah.
it looks like flowers.
Trying to make candles for my merch.
I'm
That's
searching
cool.
for like floral silicone molds.
You know what that would be a really cool design? You can totally snag this idea. So a pot leaf, right? It has naturally a leaf that goes up and then 2 small that come down right here. You should turn that into a peace sign
Oh shit.
because it's naturally already in that design.
Yeah.
And you just put a circle behind it.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
fine. That could be a flag or something.
Yeah, it could be a flag. It could just be a dope logo. I was thinking you could turn that into one of those standee candles.
Yeah. Oh,
Peace sign.
that's cool.
Pop sign.
I gotta look up though.
Peace pop.
You can have like a one in the shape of a pot leaf with one of those like skeletons inside.
Here
That
we
would
go.
be pretty dope.
Are tips filters?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was like,
I was sure about it until I got them, and then I was like,
What's that?
uh,
Oh, it's a wick. Hemp wick.
oh yeah.
Oh.
Just so you don't have to like
No, butane.
Is that
Yeah.
your lighter?
like light it in the stays, or you can do a match
Oh, and it stays lit while you're.
smoking, so you or like for a bowl, so you don't have to keep hitting with it.
Yeah, that's really like the best thing to use for like smoking out of a
Fix that little
pipe.
spike that's right there. Yeah.
Wow, I
Just
should
take a
fix
lighter
that.
and just burn it off. There you go, that person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have like 155 episodes?
No. I only have like 60 something.
Okay, because on
That's dope.
Spotify it says like 100 and something. I was like,
No.
damn.
No, I don't have that much. I don't know why it says that. That's weird. No.
Spotify is weird.
Look, man. Oh no, maybe it's I don't know, but yeah, it's weird because the podcast analytics are like they're still working out a lot of bugs like with it all, and so like for those that like use like Anchor as a
Mhm.
platform. Just let people know that you're not getting your complete Apple statistics. You're not getting you're getting some of your Spotify.
Oh, I get
Like-
Anchor. Okay.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
so like whenever you use them as a podcast platform, there's a lot of like missing analytics, and a lot of people are still trying to work out those bugs and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I mean, there could be something up with Spotify, but I actually was just trying to look today. I think I have like 60 something, like or 50 something episodes,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
It's so weird. I had a gut feeling this question was going to come up too. That's so weird. And I was looking it up, and now I had a brain fart because I'm fucking lit right now.
That's perfect. Let me start rapid firing. All right, welcome back to Pod of Portland. I have the host of Hippie Speed Podcast,
Hit
right?
speedball.
Damn it, Hippie Speedball Podcast. All right, take two. Welcome back to Pod of Portland. I have the host of Hippie Speedball Podcast. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Joe. It's okay.
All right. Everything's kicking in now. All right, take three. Welcome back to Pod of Portland. Today I have the host of Hippie Speedball Podcast, Joe. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for actually having us in your
Yeah, that's
like
kinda-
studio.
yeah.
You're like hosting.
This is like my home away from home over here at the Khalifa Social Club in Oregon City. They're amazing people. The Khalifa Dispensary too. They've been showing lots of love for the podcast. So I do episodes in here sometimes. Sometimes I do them at my house. Luckily, like I said earlier, my stuff's pretty portable, so I can kind of take it wherever. But I like I've been getting in as portable as it can be. But
like fridge portable or like I got it in a one bag portable.
so the bag I have fits inside like the free personal item you can fly with. I know that for a fact. Like I know
That's
it
perfect.
fits perfectly in that little slot. Like so,
Yes.
and if you're like I said, balling on a budget like I am, like I fly Spirit because I'm broke,
Yeah.
and you can take that free personal item, so I can just travel with that one bag if I need to. Which
Right
is pretty
now.
sick. But I like to do episodes here because Khalifa shows a lot of love. But when I was doing video, they would actually play the video inside the dispensary in the lobby, which was really cool. And so like I would be there in a mask, like with like 4 or 5 people watching me on TV.
Mhm.
Like, and I'm just kind of chilling there, look at the bartender. I was like, "Don't you fucking say anything!" Right now. But I also have a very distinct voice, so I can't talk too much either.
Yeah.
Which so I have to kind of be like, "You're gonna get some of that, please."
Hello.
Because I've had some people like look at the TV, then look at me. They were like, "That's you."
Mhm.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, it's not. No, you're acting weird." No.
I do that when I go to shows sometimes because I don't expect people to recognize me just from like my eyes. And then people will like make eye contact and they'll be like, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh, hey."
Isn't it cool?
It's very cool, but also like I get so anxious because I have social anxiety.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, what was the name? What if I say the name wrong? What if it's the wrong name? What if it's the wrong person? And I've done that before. I actually I was like, "You left me on red." And he's like, "That's not me."
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh
Oops.
shit.
It's cool though. He's cool. I bought Beats from him.
It sucks whenever people leave you on red, though. It's like, come on.
It
See, if you're an
happens.
Android, you don't know.
That's true.
Oh.
I have an Android.
I have a Samsung. Everything tells you if you're left on red.
You know?
Like everything. And
I guess, like,
Instagram,
yeah. But like
Facebook, text messages. Now if you see one person, you'll see everyone that opts in. if you opt out, then you won't see anyone. So it's like a weird mental F. I swear, it's like the phone companies try to play a Black Mirror on us.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, for real.
But I was gonna say I'm actually going to California next month, and I was looking at plane tickets, and Southwest has a sale on tickets right now.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what's
like
up.
$59.
Fuck yeah. Does it have to be for? Is there like a certain time you have to travel during?
I think they give you like a year. I don't know.
I was gonna say because I'm going to Vegas in May.
Oh,
And so
it
that
should
would be
still.
that would be dope.
Yeah.
Get a decent price on there. Like I said, I try to travel on a budget. I try to like make it as efficient as possible. Luckily, Las Vegas, I've been there a lot of times, so I know good places to go to be able to drink a lot cheaper and stuff like that. For those that don't know, you can go to CVS in Las Vegas and get a lot of Oregon beers that are in there. So I'm all sitting there at the Bellagio fountain drinking Deschutes. That was really fucking dope. Like that was super
Nice.
dope.
Yeah, I don't like Spirit, so I try to find deals on any other airline because I'm
like
flew on
6'2",
Spirit.
so I'm never comfortable on a plane.
God.
So it doesn't really matter.
No,
Yeah,
I
flying.
hate flying.
If you're tall, it doesn't fucking matter. You're not going to be comfortable.
I don't even care about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm short, so I have that advantage. So you know what?
I have to
Ha.
actual window seat, and
Same
I would
here.
prefer window seat, but
You
the
know-
aisle is just the worst. You're like, I can't do that. Just get ran
Fuck the
over.
middle. That's impossible. That's
I
not
feel
happening.
bad, but then I remember y'all put everything on the high shelves and on top of the fridge and watch the struggle. So, you know, and then I'm like, I got all
We have
this leg
stools.
room.
We have stools in the house.
Only a dick would watch you struggle. Is they're going to offer a stool and say, "Hey, I got that."
Oh,
You know?
that's the worst. I'm like, I'd rather just walk away and not even have it anymore. I'd be like, no thanks. I'll get it myself.
Yeah.
But
I appreciate you having me here on Pot of Portland.
yeah, I'm like
What a
little
great
high.
name, by the way.
Thank you.
I kudos to you. That was a great name.
Yes, there was only one other Pot of Portland on Instagram, so that's why it's Pop420 on Instagram, because someone else had Pot of Portland, but they didn't do shit with it. I'm like,
Fuck them, it's yours now.
Right, you could
Yeah.
I get him to pay. Or if you like pay like $50, they'll probably use it.
I
You're
don't
not
want to
doing
pay
anything.
anyone.
Yeah.
I don't see. That's the whole thing of this whole metaverse thing that's being talked about. Everyone's like, "Oh, if you buy currency for the meta," I'm like, "Wait, I'm sorry." So now we are literally going to play The Sims and put real money into this when this was like available 20 years ago and available now.
A lot of real money.
And
It's
what?
what's really
What?
weird is all this is going on, and they literally released an article that said, and I quote, "You will own nothing and be happy in the future." Like, and I'm like, that's what they said, and I'm like, how does this not seem like evil to you guys?
Yeah,
Like,
or
what
like,
the fuck is going
Nothing
on?
physically.
You know what's
Yeah.
so funny is all these movies and TV shows that are made about technology being our downfall.
Yeah,
It's like the human race is like, this is what could happen. This is what probably will happen.
none of these
but
motherfuckers have
fuck
ever
it.
watched The Terminator. None
fuck
of them
it.
have ever seen The Terminator or really seen how this really plays out. You know?
We don't need, I mean, like, you have iRobot, you have, oh, fuck,
So
my
many.
mind's blanking now. Black Mirror, they had the robot ones, and they made the robots.
Mhm.
The robot dogs, they were like, oh, so we made
It'll
these?
truly be the downfall once they combine artificial intelligence with military weapons.
Well,
Once those two things are combined,
Well, did you
and
see
basically
the-
Skynet is formed.
They're doing
That's
like
when we're fucked.
the robot dogs that you can see in there.
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
the borders.
Yeah, they have robot dogs on the border. That's like
Watching the borders.
they had those on
We
one of the
should
fucking
also-
movies, the Kingsman movies. You ever watch the Kingsman?
Yeah.
I fucking love those movies. They literally had those robot dogs. They
Yeah,
were like
I'm
robot
like,
pit bulls or some shit.
I should also mention that PD Boy is on here because
Oh.
we're gonna do a interview right after this, so it'll be like a fun interview.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited. I'm thinking of all these questions. I got them all down. So,
I didn't know if I was supposed to talk or not. So I'm just
oh, you can definitely talk. Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
know.
bro. I don't care.
This is
That'd be
such
fun.
a laid back. So, Pot of Portland was actually birthed from on my podcast. I have this segment called Pop, and it's Pieces of Portland.
Mhm.
So when I started eating edibles, I was like, I'm just gonna record my authentic reaction,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, this is Pot of Portland, Pop 420. There we go. So that's a fun little.
Hell
story.
yeah,
How
that's
was-
awesome.
How was your podcast made?
How was my okay? So So I thought of, so a long time ago, this kind of has a long story. So a long time ago, I was helping some friends start their podcast, and I have audio experience. So they were like, hey, could you run like the booth and can you run like the mixer and the mics for us and stuff like that and kind of show us what we need? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I helped them out. And then when I was actually doing the show with them, like I was kind of like on the show with them, and it was about like horror movies and stuff. And we were doing the thing, and I noticed just how like structured and like rigid it was. And I was just like, why is it so like scripted? Like, I don't feel like it should be this way. And then they were like, well, this is how a lot of podcasts go. And I'm like, well, that doesn't sound like fun. And I was like, I just thought to myself, how cool would it be if you just had a podcast where you were just smoking weed and drinking coffee with really cool people, and you called it the Hippie Speedball Podcast, and treat it like Seinfeld. It's about nothing, really. It's got a lot of substance, but it's really about nothing. Like they're like, what? I still can't answer when they're like, what's your podcast about? I'm like, that's a great question. Like, it's not really about anything. And so fast forward years later, September of 2020, I had brought the idea up to a friend of mine, and he was like, dude, we should totally try to start that. And I was like, yeah, maybe. And then I just kind of sat on it for a minute, and then we had those wildfires over around here, and we had to get evacuated, almost lost all of our shit. And like we had to leave. And then I was like,
wildfires.
What's that?
The 2020 wildfires.
Yeah.
And then like
in
people
September.
lost power.
Have a round robin.
Yeah, and it was fucking crazy. And so we evacuated, and then whenever I came back, and I was just like, well, luckily all my shit's still here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just jump on that podcast, because especially once I saw the name wasn't taken.
Yeah.
Once I was like, because I've always wanted to call it the Hippie Speedball Podcast, and I always sat on that name for a good like 2 years before I actually started the show. And then I just sat on that name, never started it. And then once I saw it was available, boom, let's go. And then a friend of mine was my co-host in the original Genesis stages. And then he just kind of just wanted to kind of just do his own thing. And I was taking it a little bit more seriously. And then I just kind of wanted to do it and started hanging out with people. And then I didn't think people were going to like it. Like, I honestly didn't think people were even going to like it. I just did it for fun. And then next thing I know, people were like, dude, I really like your podcast. And I'm like, you do? And I'm like, why? Like, it's not about anything. And they were like, I don't know, you have good interviews, and I like when you talk to these people. And I'm like, huh. So I started just taking it. It was like people made me start taking it more seriously.
Yeah,
like
you wanted
it was
to represent it better.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but I still just have on whoever I want. I still am just like, I just want to kick it with these people and stuff like that. And I'll have like some people say, you should get so and so on the show because they have X many followers. I'm like, I don't fucking care how many followers they have. I would rather have like I want to have like my maintenance guy in my apartment complex, because he used to do catering for bands and like all these different stadiums and go on tour and shit like that. I'm like, that's the person I want to talk to.
Yeah.
Like exactly. Right. You have stories to tell. Like, and like I don't fucking care how many followers you might have or something like that. And so I just wanted to hang out with cool people. And the next thing I know, it just started taking off. And then I've been nominated for a couple awards. I got nominated for the Las Vegas Cannabis Awards for Best Podcast. So I got to go to Vegas and have a lot of fun there and shit.
Oh yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Okay.
And also now I'm tied up with the G4 Live Expo and the Bud Tender Awards down there. That's why I'm going in May. Gonna watch Travis Barker perform with Snoop Dogg.
Oh my.
Bro, I'm so excited. It's going to be such a great time. Everybody check out the G4 Live Expo and Bud Tender Awards. Phenomenal thing they got going down there. If you're in the cannabis industry, it's like a networking opportunity made out of fucking gold.
Okay, so
like you will just meet so many amazing people.
When is that?
It's in May, like May 11th through the 14th, I want to say.
All right, so I gotta start looking at plane tickets, because if I'm gonna do Pot of Portland, I gotta go to these things.
Yeah.
So.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I have a homegirl in Las Vegas.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's one thing that I've noticed when it comes to the way the podcast has grown. Is also, so right now the Hippie Speedball Podcast is actually ranking in the top 10% globally.
Oh,
so it's
nice.
the top 10% of podcasts in the world.
Hell yeah.
With a zero money spent on advertising. Not a fucking dime. And it's all been completely by word of mouth.
That's
and so
awesome.
I think that networking stuff and that word of mouth stuff is the most efficient way to actually spread the word about your podcast. If you're doing a podcast, like, because
I'm taking notes on you.
Oh yeah,
You're
so
right.
it's
Like,
for
I'm taking notes on
anything.
music
It's not
now.
just for
and
podcasts.
how often do you actually come across a podcast or maybe an artist or something like that? But like, how often do you come across a show on like an advertisement and you're like, oh, I'm going to check that out? I never do, ever. Like, I don't ever see an advertisement for a podcast and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go check that out. Yeah. It's usually my friend tells me, bro, you got to check out this show. Like that's always how I start hearing about it. Or maybe I come across them on Instagram or something like that. And that's kind of like word of mouth because you kind of just ran into each other.
Yeah,
You know?
I paid for Instagram ads definitely to help bring in people
Did it
to the
pay off?
podcast.
Did it?
Yeah.
So I'm starting to look into
Yours in it?
advertising.
You have to I realized that it's like I did $10 for 10 days, so $1 a day, and I did target audience and target a space, and then it brought in like people, but it wasn't like I didn't get 1,000 followers.
What's up?
Paid off to me is just like more eyes
This
on
is
the
Hazard. Come here
podcast.
for a
So
second.
if I spend
This is
$10
Hazard.
for 2 months,
He's battling
What's
cancer right now.
hey.
He's fucking beating the fuck out of it. Super
He's
dope
in
guy.
cannabis.
Very,
Oh,
very
yeah.
well respected in the cannabis
Congratulations.
community. Everybody go find him. Hazard 503. He's got
Oh,
his
super
own
nice.
strain now. He's got his own
I was
strain.
very
Hazard
blessed.
50G.
Very blessed to have
Guy's
that
got a
happen
fucking
to
strain named
my
after
job
him.
in Oakland Industries.
What kind of cancer?
It's called cholangiocarcinoma. It started as liver cancer, but then it spread and became that. And it's a very rare form, and it's very aggressive. It's a demon, like a lot of people like to call it. It's a beast.
Yeah.
But somehow I'm 7 rounds into chemo, and I'm still standing strong. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still doing my thing. I got my hair. I got an appetite. I
Oh,
dropped
yeah.
30 pounds down to 160, but I gained it right back to 190.
Yeah, he's
so.
filling up.
Okay.
And I
good.
swear to God, it's from RSO and THC and
You
cannabis.
look amazing.
Thank
Like
you so much.
7 rounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm so blessed, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a
Well,
hard
I'm
time.
gonna
happy
keep you
to
in my
meet you.
thoughts
Thank you.
and
Pleasure to meet you.
sending you all the
Petey.
positive vibes.
Pleasure. Thank you guys so much. man.
And so I do a hats from Amy. It's a friend of mine who died from stage 4 cancer. She used to make hats while she was going through chemo,
That's
so
awesome.
I have hats that I make. I can make you a hat.
That'd be dope,
Yeah,
dude.
it's free of charge. Just
That'd be dope.
I can match your label, or you tell me what color.
I'm a black and green theme,
Okay,
if you
okay.
couldn't tell.
Perfect. I'll make
I
it.
love that.
Yes, I'm
I'll
waiting
rep that.
on this hemp yarn too, so
Sweet.
it should be here like tomorrow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm kind of over in the cannabis community, so I'll put it on. Tell them where I got it. And they'll
I got
kinda
labels.
get a little
on
eyes
them,
on you.
So yeah,
Sweet, heck yeah,
it's just for cancer patients, totally free of charge.
That's awesome.
So
dude.
yeah,
I would love to put the word out for that, dude. That's
Yeah, thank
he
you.
knows, dude.
Yeah.
I'm all about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't want to interrupt you, Dave. I just
No,
want to
you're
grab a
totally
little snack
fine.
here.
I'm the one that pulled you in.
Right now. Thank you,
I
brother.
literally said, come over here.
Yeah, no, you love it. This man is the man right here. I love him.
I'm okay. But yeah, he's still cool. He's super
Yes.
cool. Yeah.
yeah. Networking is a big part of successful business. I think for Instagram, those ads, if you can figure out the right time, I haven't, obviously. I'm just like, I try different times of the day. Somehow you'll just hit a point and people are all of a sudden like blow up your shit.
Yeah, my algorithm or whatever the insights used to say to drop at 3 p.m. But that was when I lived in the Midwest. It hasn't really. So now I try to drop at noon here, which is 3 there. So yeah. But yeah, and I don't know. I hadn't figured it out.
See you
Have
later,
a great
bro.
night.
You as well.
I saw you on Instagram, so I'll message you.
Absolutely. I'll be looking forward to it. You are right on the algorithm thing.
Yeah.
If you can figure it out, you nail Instagram.
Yeah,
You
it's
get
just trying different times of the day, and different hashtags, and
Well,
not
they also change it all the
overdoing
time.
It's, it's
too.
super key.
Yeah,
Hashtags.
see, but
Mhm.
Yeah,
But not
I miss out.
overdoing the hashtags.
Okay.
see, it's like at first it was like do a lot of hashtags, and it was like don't do any hashtags, and it was like do a little hashtags. Now they're saying do like anywhere between 8 to 16 hashtags, like, and it's just like, and then it's like use like 3 major ones, use a few different ones. So what I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to experiment with this. Is like I pick like a bunch of like a few like major ones, and then I kind of because you know how like I can tell you how many posts have been using that. So I'll use one that's like in the millions, like hundreds of thousands, 100,000s, 10,000s, and I try to like make it go lower as time goes on. Just experiment with it.
Jesus,
And
that is
yeah.
way more in detail. Yeah, don't listen to me. Listen to this guy.
I'm
He's
just
got it like
roll
more.
with it.
He's got it more down to a science. I'm like, I'll try this time.
I've
try these hashtags.
just
I'm
recently
just like, I'll
started
stupidly
caring.
fall into it.
Before I even started the podcast, I wasn't on social media at all.
Mhm.
Like I only made the Instagram for the show. Oh, here you go. Get past that. I only made it for the show, so all of this is like brand new knowledge. I know one trick that I did learn, and it fucking works. and it's like it works really well with pictures and videos. It doesn't work too well on Reels, I know this, but with pictures and video, it works. What you do is you post something, right? So Instagram, they make their money by keeping you on the app as long as humanly possible. That's how they make their money. So there's a way you can use that against them. So what they'll do is you post something, right? And then you immediately close the app, like completely from your phone. Close the app for an hour. And what Instagram will do, it'll start telling you, hey, so-and-so liked your photo, liked your video. And then you just ignore that notification.
Oh, I find those out sometimes.
And then Instagram will just be like, wait, this person's not looking at their phone. I'm going to go ahead and send it out to more people. And then next thing you know, you'll get more likes, more notifications.
Jeez.
And then they're like, wait, they're still not opening? I'm going to go send it out to more people now. And then that's how you can do it. I did that with a picture one time, and it was just a picture, and it's on there too. It's a picture of me in this jacket, and I'm like kind of like curling my lip or something. And one of my favorite punk bands fucking ended up finding the picture, ended up liking it by using that thing. And they're called the Lower Class Brats. Great fucking band. I love the Lower Class Brats. But like once I saw they liked my picture, I fucking freaked out. I was like, no shit. I was like, that is so cool. I started listening to them like right away.
I found that I'm like, celebrities see me more on Twitter. So Missy Elliott actually found my tweet, liked it, retweeted it, and then followed me. And then followed me. At first, when I saw her name, I was like,
That is
okay,
so
this
cool.
is a fake account. And then I had the blue check mark. And I was like, I had to like close my phone, put it down, be like, don't fangirl, it's fine.
No,
okay?
that is so
Fangirl
cool.
over Missy Elliott.
I
fan
would too.
right.
I still, like, I go to her page and it's like, follows you. I'm like,
I'd fan girl, fan guy, fan non-binary.
Right.
I would fan everything.
she's
That would
my
be crazy.
idol.
That would be sick.
Yeah, one of my favorite rappers follows me on, I think, at least Twitter, but
That's
maybe
dope,
and
man.
Instagram.
That's
I was
so
just
cool.
Like, I was almost in my bio. Like,
Who is it?
cool.
Lloyd Banks.
Okay.
That's fucking
Yes.
dope, bro.
He's like one of my
Just,
favorite rappers.
My blue check mark that's following me that's significant is you ever see the movie A Bronx Tale? It's a gangster movie.
yes.
So the main kid, C from A Bronx Tale, he was also in The Sopranos and stuff. He follows the podcast.
Oh,
Lilo
hell
Brancato.
yes.
Dude, I know it's like, dude, it was crazy the way it happened too. Is he posted something and I left a comment on one of them, and because I was just saying, I was like, because what happened with him is he got turned onto drugs really bad,
Mhm.
and then there was like a botched like home invasion that happened, and a cop ended up getting killed, and then he served like 8.5, 9 years in prison for it, and then he came out, completely turned his life around. Now he's getting his acting career going again, and I made a comment and I was like, bro, it's so cool to watch you back on your climb. We're all fucking rooting for you. Even because there's a line from the movie that says the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. And so I used that. And I was like, you saw that was true. You're fucking proving it to everybody. We're all rooting for you. He sends me a message directly on Instagram. He was like, hey, I just want to say what you said was super inspiring. And I hope that you and your family are doing well. And I tried so hard not to freak the fuck out. I was like, thank you.
I know.
Yeah. So I did find out that apparently people get notified if someone screenshots your messages.
Oh shit. Okay.
So like I didn't screenshot it.
Wait, on which platform?
Instagram.
On Instagram?
Yeah. Apparently, if you screenshot a message, it either used to or it still does. I know it did at one point
I don't
while I
give a
had
fuck
it.
who knows the ice cream. I'll screenshot it because I don't trust people.
Yeah, exactly.
Dirty delete is the worst. I hate that shit. If you're gonna say something, stand behind it. Good or bad. I hate it. Sorry. So I'll screenshot shit if I feel like that person might dirty delete. I'll be like, just in case you want to say some shit.
Well, are you talking about when someone removes a message,
Yeah.
like unsends it? So what funny thing about that is you can contact Instagram and see what that message was. If it's something involving like a harassment case or something like that.
No, I'm just talking about petty shit. Okay, just petty shit. I don't know.
Okay. Well, then you can just honestly, then that speaks more volumes anyway. So I hope they do delete it because you're like, you're a bitch. You
Yeah,
just
but
be like-
sometimes it's nice to have the receipts when like you do that so much, and then once in a while you're like, bam,
Remember?
see that?
Yeah.
Black and white,
It is good to
right
catch
there.
people right in their fucking
Boom.
tracks for sure.
I find.
We just need to pass this around. There you go. I'll hold on.
No, you're good. Sorry, I took that and turned it dark.
No, don't worry about it.
You were saying positive.
Stay
yeah.
positive.
You were saying. I was like,
About the
oh.
nothing worse than wasted talent.
Mhm.
When I was doing mixtapes or whatever coming up, I named them wasted talent.
Mm.
Oh wow.
One, because like
What are the
during my
odds
early
of that?
20s, just like kind of struggled with just like abusing alcohol and shit like that. And then like just also, I thought I was like, I don't know, I was just lazy. So I didn't take it as serious.
The shiz.
Not shit.
Okay, there you go.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, yeah, and just like I was lazy at the time and didn't take it, as serious as I do now, even. And so that's what they were about with wasted talent. So like,
Well, like I was saying, like, what are the odds of that?
Yeah.
That's cool. I love whenever you have like those little universal serendipitous moments where it's like someone brings something up and you're like, whoa.
oh yeah,
You're
It's
like,
happened,
that's crazy.
Like,
How old are you?
32.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm not
31.
32 yet. I'm 31. I'm
Nice.
32.
I was
I'll be
supposed to say
30.
you're
I'll
in
be
your
32 in
30s.
August.
Okay,
That's what's
yeah.
up, man.
So yeah, we'll be 32.
That's
Alright.
crazy. Echo the Savage is our age too.
Yeah, I
That-
was just gonna say.
That blew my mind. Actually, I was like, wow, you seem much younger than
Baby
me.
face.
Yeah, I totally thought he
And
was
that's
like
so
22.
crazy because he reminds me so much. I said this on the podcast because he reminds me so much of my cousin. Like, and they have the same birthday. Like, whoa,
Right.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You were saying that, and they're like the same person.
Like, he looks just like him.
reminds
He
you
reminds
of him.
me.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
personality.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, his look reminds me of my
Oh.
cousin. My cousin is also really into like metal and rock and stuff, so I guess kind of in a way, but he's not really musically inclined. Like,
No, I just thought his person. You said something about his personality reminds you of your cousin a bunch on the podcast. I was listening to it today. I
Nice.
listened to that
I'm
one
glad. Thank you.
and
for
another
appreciate
episode.
that.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that will either interview me or come on the show and they've never listened to the podcast, and I'm like, that's ballsy.
Mm.
Like, I would never.
This could be.
I would never go on
Yeah.
a show if I'd never listened to you.
Right.
Like even before I even like reach out to somebody or something like that, I'll even say like I was like, dude, your music's fucking dope. Like, it was
Okay.
just like I was just like, fucking it's like I've had some people actually hit me up and I have to turn them down. It's kind of interesting, but some people make really garbage music.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really do, and they really act like they're super hot, and that's not something I can get behind if you don't have the talent to back it up.
But then there's like people that are actually like mega talented that lack that confidence.
Mhm.
That's something I'm trying to fix myself.
I will say,
Like
don't come on my podcast if you don't want my honest opinion.
exactly.
And I will say that the rap game, Bobby Flay learned that. So,
Rap game.
Mhm.
That's really good.
so the name of the episode.
Rap game Bobby Flay.
That's what he calls himself. The rap game, Bobby Flay. I had to look up who Bobby Flay was. I didn't even know who Bobby Flay was.
I was gonna say I've never heard of.
Bobby Flay.
It's a cook.
Yeah.
A chef. A chef.
Oh,
A chef.
okay.
Oh, fuck. I'll edit that out. I'll edit that out. Bobby Flay's gonna come after me now.
I've never heard of him before, so I didn't really know where it was going. Hi, Bobby Flay.
I just
Is it
heard-
Bobby Fillet or Bobby Flay?
It's Bobby
It's just
Flay.
FLAY.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
Flay.
flop, but
Oh,
Flay.
like Flay. Yeah.
Like it means chef.
Oh
that-
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby Flay.
I'm not the first person to come. Like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
wait, he's a chef. Are you saying fillet or
Yeah.
flay?
That's great.
No, and I really liked some of his music, but then he put out like other music, and I was like, I just am not a fan of this. It just feels like you're just throwing a bunch of shit together. And he's like, well, basically, I just throw a bunch of stuff together. I'm like, yeah, I don't really fuck with that, and here's
Yeah.
why. And I wasn't mean. I wasn't like, your shit sucks. Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
I
I
was-
it came from a place of you actually liking his stuff at one point.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
just like, this is something I wouldn't vibe with, and I was just talking about this. There's certain ways, so like in hip hop, there's a lot of times that there's songs that are like, bitch, slut, and as a woman, I'm like, but there can be certain songs that call us bitches, and then you're like, I can fuck with this. You know what? Yeah, I'm a bitch. Okay, that's fine. All right, you can get away with that. If it doesn't like, if it's just like you're being derogatory and you're like saying it over and over, it just gets over like used. And I was telling him that I'm like, when you're 4 songs deep and it's like bitch this and bitch that and little pussy and cunt, I'm like, whoa.
Well, then it's just at that point, it's just there's no there's no heart put into it. If I can't feel passion in your art, then I can't fuck
It's
with
not even about passion for me. I'm more about conscious.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
like,
Like, if writing those lyrics requires no passion, because it's like
It
it's
depends.
it's
Passion's different for
template rap.
people.
It's like they're filling out a Mad Lib.
Yeah, and that's really
Like,
what he
it's like-
described. He was like, I went in the studio, I said a verse, I swiped, I said another verse from these notes, I said another verse, and I was like,
Well, I mean, that could turn out really cool.
like it could
Yeah,
if
it
you were
could.
Snoop Dogg.
No,
I mean,
you gotta
I
try
mean,
stuff.
like-
you could just
bro.
have
Music-
you could just have
But
bars.
18 tracks like that? That's
Try
fucking
that
up.
for 18.
I just,
There's
I'm just-
crazy
I
ways
was
But
to-
just
also,
like-
I mean, people do stuff for different reasons.
and
For
that's
sure.
why, and like, just because I don't fuck with it doesn't mean someone else doesn't fuck with it. So like, I'm not nobody, and I told him that too. I was like, you don't have to
Don't
take
call
my
yourself
opinion.
nobody. That's not
Well, in the music industry, I'm not trying to say that I'm somebody like you have to take my opinion. If you want my opinion, I'll tell you. But like, I'm not somebody that you need to like worry about or be like, oh, Jocelyn said this, like F her.
Mhm.
So
Well, I had this one. I totally understand that. I had this one artist who I wanted to get on the show, and he kind of just like threw me on the back burner and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And then
I just got stood up.
I got that sucks, dude. That's so
happens.
fucking disrespectful.
It happens.
Like,
you know what?
it
I
does
just
happen.
remember like the shit that I've gone through. Shit happens. So like it
Mhm.
sucks, and like I hope everything's good.
Just take mental notes.
But shit happens.
You know, also just take mental notes. Don't put up with that shit. You know, and also don't let people think that they can do that to you either. Like, that's fucked up. That's super disrespectful to do to somebody. But I had this artist that I wanted to get on the show, and they kind of just threw me on the back burner. And then I got hit up by somebody saying like, "Hey, you should help this artist with this one thing," and I was just like, "No,
Mhm.
like no, like
Mhm.
you're messaging the wrong guy." And so I was like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. Then I had friends that were like, hey, did you do that? I was like, no, absolutely not. Because all of them did. Like, they were like, oh, we're going to help him out with this. And I'm just like, well, good for him. He doesn't need, the reason I thought that is because I was thinking, I was like, he doesn't need my help with that. Like, he can get that probably done himself. Like, he doesn't need my help. And I'm sure as shit not going to offer it. Now, if you're going to ignore me and then I get a message completely ignoring
From
the
not
entire
even-
conversation
Yeah.
Not
we
even the
just
person,
had.
from like other
Yeah,
people. Right?
Yeah,
that's
well,
like,
it was from his like management, I think.
Yeah, but
Like
that's
the
what
way
I'm
it was
saying.
worded.
Yeah.
It was like, "Hey, I'm sorry to bother you," and I was just like,
Mm.
"Like, do you like?" We had literally had a conversation going, like,
Yeah,
and that was
I
completely
don't really
disregarded.
understand.
Yeah,
I
and
had
I was,
that happen recently. Where
and I was just like, okay, you know, it's like it's obvious that you're not interested in coming on, and that's fine. Like, that's totally cool. But you know, it's like take little mental notes of that kind of stuff, because
Mhm.
if you believe in your art and you keep going with it, it's gonna gather wings. It's gonna fly eventually. And then I've noticed that more people will like, whenever there's something more that they can get out of it,
Mhm.
that's whenever you'll start like hearing from like certain people and stuff like that. They're like, all of a sudden they read your messages.
Mhm.
Like, it's like you have this one person on the show and then they're like, oh, hey, I forgot about this conversation. You know, it's like, I can't wait for someone to hit me up that I contacted a long time ago that left me on red, because there's a few of them. And
Oh, yes.
that have left me on red. And I cannot wait
They're probably
for something to blow up with the podcast. Like, I have a dope fucking guest, something big happens, and then all of a sudden this person leaves a comment saying, bro, I would love to be on the show sometime. And I'd be like, dude, check your messages. And then that message is still there from like a year and a half ago
And
when
like,
I
they
tried
don't
to
say
get
anything.
you. Yeah. And then it's just like, oh, don't worry, I still got my receipt. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you could go ahead and do whatever you want on your end. I still got that unread message from that long ago. And it's like, there's no way you haven't been on your phone. Like, you have all these posts, all these lives, all these stories that you've done, and you haven't read my message. Or you did, and you didn't fucking talk to me back. It's like,
That's the
so,
equivalent of like in like music when you do something and someone's like, yeah, bro, we'll link up. Or like, and it's like,
Yeah.
you're like, we can hang out anytime. We can make music
Mhm.
anytime, send stuff back and forth. I've sent stuff to people that are always like, yo, bro, send you something. They're like, let's work. And it's like, I've sent you things.
yeah, I have this rule that if I've tried to reach out 2 times and they haven't responded, but they've read the messages, then they've officially lost the spot on my couch. Like, that's my rule now. Like, it's like, no, fuck off. Like, that's so just disrespectful. Just have and also just have the courtesy to tell me, I don't fuck with your show. I don't want to come on your podcast. Your show sucks. Tell me something.
Right.
Like, I don't fucking
Or
care.
apologize.
It
Fixes
like,
that. It's like, hey, sorry. It was like I flicked on her twice.
yeah, I would respect
Oh,
apology.
Stop. I
My
don't
thing is just
even
like-
no, I don't even count. That's the thing is that like I've been where you've been, where I've been like, yeah, fuck all these people, and I've just been like, I'm not to fuck with you now. But honestly, like if I look back on my life, I have definitely fucked up, and if people have given me a second chance or a third chance or whatever, like I'm grateful for that. And so even though now I move differently and like I wouldn't
Very
do that
true,
for
but
someone else,
in this sense, they're using you though. So it's a
it doesn't
different.
even matter. I've been
you
used
know.
before in the past. I've had
Don't
Don't be used.
but I'm not saying that.
Put your foot
I'm
down.
saying, but it doesn't like affect me in that sense because if someone's gonna come on my podcast because they think that I'm gaining traction, they can come on my podcast. That's fine. It's not going to come back on me and look bad on me. The only way that I look bad is if I go down this like petty road of like trying to passive aggressively be like, no, I don't fuck with you. I'll just tell them like, well, I tried to get you on, but now I have this line of people.
Well, yeah,
so
I
I'll
never
get
said
with
I
you
wouldn't.
later.
I never said I wouldn't tell them that. But I just
No,
said
I
they
didn't
officially
say
lost
that.
a spot on my couch.
I'm just
because
telling you what
I
would
look at
do.
it as just, I look at it as, and there's no grudge, there's no hate, none at all. It's just you're not coming on my show,
Yeah.
and that's really it. It's like I'll still go to your shows, I'll still support your art, but I'm not going to have you on my platform because I tried and you disrespected me, and that's something I just and then all of a sudden you want to be friends now that things are taking off.
I've had
I don't
people
fuck with that. Like,
ignore me and like used to fuck with me and don't fuck with me because we had a difference of opinion on a certain person, and then will come up to me in public and hug me and try to hug me. And the first 2 times I was like, no, we'll talk and then we can hug, but like we need to have a conversation because that is how I am. Don't hug me in public if we don't fuck in private. Like that's just how I am. This last time she did the bear hug, and I was like, "There's nowhere for me to go," so I had to be like, so it was really awkward. And then the next person
that's where
was
you
like,
do a clench in the shoulder check.
You're
No.
I hate being put in that position where I have to set a firm boundary and be like,
It sucks.
you
It's not a comfortable
know,
position.
you know what you did, you know what you're doing right now. The messages are still there. Like I have reached out to you. Don't act like I'm just being a bitch to you now in public because you want to like put on the show when I have reached out to you multiple times and you just don't want to own up to what you've done.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I wasn't good enough for you then, and then all of a sudden you want to be friends.
It's
No,
still hurtful. Like I still like
it's just disrespectful.
It is
you know?
disrespectful. For me, it's more hurtful because like I've grown up when I was a kid. I always wanted to be like friends with everyone. I just wanted to be accepted. And now I don't really care to be accepted. I just hate it when people are lying to me and then I find out because I will find out. Like you can only lie for so long. You can only put a mask on
What's
for
done
so
in the
long.
dark will always come to the light. I'm a firm believer in that. That the only thing that ever pays off in life is authenticity.
Yeah.
Like especially these days, there's too many digital receipts. You can't get away with dick. Like it's either on camera
That's
or
what
it's
I'm
on
saying.
paper
Is like
somewhere.
there's
Like,
no point in
there's a reason
being-
why the mob isn't as powerful as they used to be.
Yeah,
You
there's
can't
just
get
no
away with
point
shit
in being
anymore.
inauthentic. Like just being authentic, good, bad, and otherwise. And like I have bad moments all the time where like I'll do a conversation stabber and I'll be like, oh, why did I just say that? And like, you know,
I like that conversation
Conversation.
stabber.
Yeah.
You just slaughtered it.
I know, I was like, oh fuck, I did. All right, well, fuck. That means I need
I
to
don't mention
shush.
that.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes it's like my own anxiety coming through, and I just like start talking all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and like I'll notice when I talk over people too, and so like I have all these things I'm working on, so I try to have that compassion for others, And if they are sneaky or they are using me, it will come out and it will come back on them. Karma's a bitch. And I believe heavily in karma.
And I also think that, I say this on the podcast a lot, that weed and karma go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, for some reason, it's like, have you ever noticed, like, you had times where it's like back in the day where you would like run out of weed and then like you would happen to have a friend hit you up that day, said, hey, you want to smoke out? Like, hey, we're going to roll up a blunt. You want to come over? It'd be like, dude, I just ran out of weed. Like, that's crazy. And I
Exactly.
just needed to smoke. Like, and it's like the pot fairy comes and takes care of things.
Oh, that's me now. All right. So where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Hippie Speedball Podcast, and you can also find it anywhere you get podcasts. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, Google, Audible, Amazon, everywhere. If you just Google Hippie Speedball Podcast, Hippies, HIPPY, Speedball, one word, podcast, and you can find it everywhere. Thanks for having me on your show.
You.
I appreciate it.
Stick around.
We
We're
kind of
gonna do a live show.
just fucking went off on.
Yeah, that's the whole closet forward.
Yeah.
Just
Awesome.
smoking some shit and talking. And then where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, Spotify, all the digital platforms. Music, Sir_Pete Worth.
All right. So we're gonna stop this stream. Yes, and then